I actually drank for the first time. I was by myself. And this is an indicator of like who I was from the jump. I was by myself. It was after school day. I'm like 13 years old, and maybe 14 years old, and I got into my parents' liquor cabinet and poured a shot. First, I put on Pac. I had on Tupac. And I had my wife beater on in the kitchen, and I poured a shot, and I was like, oh, this feels great. I wonder what 2 feels like. 2 feels great. I wonder what 4 feels like. 4 feels great. Pretty soon, I'm at 12 shots. I weigh like $125. By myself on a school day, 12 shots in, first time ever drinking alcohol. That's not people like, yo, keep going. That's me by myself, dolo, in the kitchen, like I can't stop. I can't turn this off. This feels good. I want to keep going. Weed played a huge role in my life. You know, I was just, again, the type of dude that was like, show up at school at 7:45 in the morning, be like, let's skip class. You got 5, you got 5. Let's smoke a blunt. You know, I don't really want to go to third period. All right, I'm going to go to school after lunch. You know, just that was my high school experience for the first year. And around that time is actually when, I mean, I'd been rapping since I was 13, 14, but around 15, freshman year of high school is when, you know, I realized that music and me did not work if I was under the influence. I would literally smoke and stare at a blank piece of paper for 20, 30 minutes until I was like, all right, I give up. And again, this went on for long periods of time. And I would always, you know, the thing that pulled me back from that was knowing that I wanted to be a musician. And that if I wanted to do this, I had to get sober. So I would go like a month and be sober and make a bunch of music and then fall back off and vanish for, you know, a couple months and then go back and forth like that. And that's how I made music for the majority of, you know, my teen years, 20s, all that. If I'm using drugs and alcohol, it means that I've given up on my fullest potential. It was my dad who came to me and was like, you know, I know you're using again. I know you're not happy. What are you doing with your life? You're 25 years old. What's going on? I think that you should go to rehab. And, you know, if it wasn't for that conversation, and if it wasn't for me taking that conversation and actively going and seeking help, I might not be here. In fact, if I wouldn't have got sober, there's 100% I would not be in this chair right now. It took some time, but once I got into rehab and my parents saw me reacting, like passionately going about getting clean. Like I wanted that. I wanted that from when I was 16. I wanted it from when I was 17, when I was 22, 23. I wanted to get clean. Like I knew, again, that my highest potential, that the place that I was the most spiritual, the place that I was the most rich in terms of my life and my livelihood and my art and creativity was when I was sober. It was other things that were pulling me down back into that place of using. I wanted that from that age, those ages. I just didn't know how to do it on my own. So if it wasn't for that rehab center, I probably wouldn't be here. In terms of recovery, it has been very important for me to be a part of a recovery community, to actively be around my people, because they understand me. They get it. You know, you getting that from an outside perspective is one thing. You know, someone that doesn't have your issues telling you like, yo, you're not as tight as you are when you're like this. That's one thing. But to be around your people that had the same disease, have conversation about it, check in, hold each other accountable, inspire each other, that has meant a lot to me. I know how much artists influence my life. Like growing up, listening to you know, Blackalicious. Like, the words of Gifted Gab really put me on a certain path. It brought me closer to God. It was a means of, it was my means. What I didn't get from church or what I didn't get from organized religion, I got through music. I know that power. And if I have a gift in any capacity with words, and I don't use that power or utilize that power, I'm not doing my job. You can call that a responsibility, call it whatever you want, but I know my truth.
He just wanted to act like them. He just wanted to rap like him. Us as rappers underestimate the power and the